Jocelyn, who is no longer here anymore, it means the world to me to know that Jocelyn has touched millions of hearts, millions of people she's never met. And every day it's a struggle. Every day it's hard. Some days are easier than others, but it never takes away the fact that she's not here anymore due to heinous people who were let in this country to do what they did to her. As much as I wish I could change the past and take it back and even take her place, I can't do that, and everything happens for a reason, and there's a reason I'm up here and standing and speaking, because my goal is to get justice for Jocelyn, but to make a change for every other child in this state, in this nation, to not have any more families go through what me and my family are going through. We can make change, and we can do and make a difference. And Jocelyn's voice was ripped away from her, unfortunately, but mine is still here. So I will forever, for as long as I live and breathe, forever shout her name, say her name, and do whatever I can in my power to make her death prevail and have way bigger purpose than what it has ever became. Thank you.
I'm Jackie. I'm Jocelyn's grandmother. I was her Mimi. What started off as my beautiful girl, as our family, has now become everybody's beautiful girl. And the outpouring of support and love that we have received, I could never have fathomed. You know, my baby always talked about wanting to be famous, and her name is everywhere now. And we're going to do right by her, make sure her legacy lives on. And Ms. Buckingham, thank you for this honor and allowing us to be part of this, because this shows we're taking back power, we're taking back our peace, and we're taking back hope, so that no other families have to go through what our families go through, because this should have never happened. Those monsters should have never been here. And I'm looking forward to the future, because we didn't have a future. And now, hopefully, it'll become brighter, and we can just continue living through Jocelyn and make sure her legacy just lives on. Thank you, everybody.
Texas shouldn't have had to do the job that Chris pointed out. The guys at Border Patrol, the guys at ICE, they all wanted to do their job. Let's be very clear why we're here. We're here because the Biden administration, still in office, still in power, still the United States, has utterly refused to do his job to secure the border, purposely, intentionally, and has released millions of people onto the streets of this country, including dangerous criminals, people who are known or suspected terrorists, and as a result, Americans have died, and Americans are dying. That is why President Trump was swept into office. That is why Republicans were given the trifecta in Washington. That is why the legislature is growing here in Texas, and it is now why it is our duty, our job, to get the job done in January. No excuses. I don't want to hear one excuse from any Republican across this great country about why we don't do our job to secure the border of the United States and, yes, deport the millions of people that were released unlawfully and, frankly, purposely into the United States. That's our job, and we ought to do it. One final point I want to make and why I came down here. I've gotten to know Alexis over the last several months. I just want everybody to put in perspective and think that it's mid-late November. It was just 4 months ago that she lost her daughter. Just a little over 4 months ago. And I met Alexis when she came to testify at a House Judiciary Committee hearing. And it was one of the more courageous testimonies I've ever seen and witnessed since I've been in Washington and in politics. And she sat there in front of the House Judiciary Committee and she testified. And some of my colleagues on the other side of the aisle wanted to diminish the testimony. And then some people who were running campaigns wanted to diminish that Alexis was willing to speak out and speak out about the actual political reality of what this election was about. And I can't say enough what an inspiration she's been, and how much you are truly honoring your daughter by doing what you're doing to stand up, to do what is right for our country. We sat in the back of the House Judiciary Committee room and sat in the back conference room and talked for a while. And we talked about her history, her family's history, coming to this country and wanting to live the American dream, but do it the right way, to follow the law, to not look for handouts or for government to do something, but to come here because that's why migrants want to come here. They come here for the rule of law. They come here so you can achieve the American dream, not to have government walk away from both of those things, the rule of law and making sure that we're not giving out handouts and things that undermine what it means to succeed in this country. We talked about that. And I'm just deeply appreciative of Alexis and her mom for being here today and being here with Dawn. And I'll just close with this. This country is only as good as our respect for its sovereignty and who we are as a people. You know, the Vice President-elect, J.D. Vance, who's a friend of mine, likes to remind people that when people say that America is an idea, that's not enough. We're not just an idea. We're a nation. We're a nation of people, a nation of communities, a nation of laws. And we're brought together to carry out the American dream I was talking about before for our kids and our grandkids. And you can't do that if you undermine our sovereignty as a people. And people say, well, just deport the criminals. Well, hold on a second. We had people in this administration lawlessly dumping people into this country. We have now 51.5 million foreign-born, the highest percentage we've ever had in our country's history. We've got to take a step back and remember that we've got to protect this country and make sure that it will exist for generations to come. And you do that by securing it with physical structures, but also enforcement of the law. We must, and this is to all my colleagues in Washington, as I said before, no excuses. We must pass permanent changes to law. We must make it to where no president can ever do what this president has done to this country. We must reverse the damage of the Biden administration. We must stand up, particularly the Texas delegation, and defend this state along with the great people in the Texas legislature, our great land commissioner, our governor, our lieutenant governor, and all the great people of this state.